Previously on Proto Death Knight. In World of Warcraft, I've always loved the Death Knight, a class added in Wrath of the Lich King. And while I adore Vanilla, I really miss my favorite class, and Goblins too if we are being honest. The Warlock is pretty much the perfect base for this experiment. After wrapping up most of the quests in Valley of Trials, I hit level 5 and headed straight to Warlock Trainer to finally learn Corruption, the spell that would be my main damage dealer for quite a while. I came here mainly for one specific ability you can only learn in Undercity, but that required 10 silver coins. While clearing out the Kultiras invaders, I found myself facing an important question. Fight or run? And yes, I ran, with the hope that someday soon I'll come back and deal with them properly. I started today's journey by quickly clearing the gnolls in the area, and honestly, the whole time I kept asking myself why I even decided to do this. I could have just played normally, but on the other hand, I kept thinking about how I could squeeze out any extra damage from my Warlock in the simplest way possible, and I actually figured something out, but more on that in a moment. After a pretty swift extermination of Hyena folks, I headed toward a nearby troll village, which conveniently offered a few extra quests. Things like getting rid of any beach crabs, an absolute joke for our fearless Death Knight. Sure, they were 3 levels below me, but watching their health bars melt with every hit was satisfying. Very satisfying. Though not everyone I met out there was as lucky as I was. The troll quests all followed the same pattern. Kill this, gather that from crabs, then bring back tiger pelts, and when you get bored, go steal raptor eggs. But there was one more challenge waiting at the end: defeating Zalazane and his band of trolls. That part actually worried me. Some of those trolls are casters, self-healing casters, so my options were either kill them fast enough that they can't heal or somehow survive their burst damage. But as it turned out, my fear was unnecessary. They were taking way more damage from me than I expected. Still, I was nervous when it came to fighting Zalazane himself. He constantly walks around his camp, so I had to wait for the right moment to jump him. And even though he managed to heal mid-fight, the battle ended up going smoothly. At that point I felt unstoppable, like nothing in this world could threaten me. And then 2 trolls jumped me at once. With just a bit more health, I would have survived comfortably. But even as things were, I barely scraped by. I came dangerously close to ending my hardcore run right there. Turning all the quests I finished pushed me straight to level 10, which meant I could finally start spending talent points. I decided the best move was to max out improved corruption, bringing the cast time down to instant. After that, a quick centaur quest, and I returned to settle some unfinished business. Back to Razor Hill. I trained Demon Skin for a bit extra defense, then I started processing all the cloth I had collected. I'd been overdue for more inventory space for a long time. So I went back to Orgrimmar, grabbed the missing materials and learned the recipe for red linen robes, which gave me a whole +1 intellect. Not much, but we take those. Now properly dressed, I continued the journey. Turning in another quest got me to level 11 and I picked up a new mission from Thrall himself. I also checked the auction house and bought a sword that seemed like a good cheap upgrade for where I was. This was the moment I decided to return to Tirisfal Glades to finish the quest I have left behind. So I started by slaying bats, and for the first time I truly felt how strong the combination of corruption and curse of agony could be. Lower level mobs didn't stand a chance against me and my demon. Then came pumpkin gathering and sending scarlet warriors to their graves. And honestly, there's nothing more satisfying than completely dominating humanoids, knowing they dropped the most valuable resource for me: cloth. And with how fast I was killing them, I could gather a solid amount. I took the opportunity to complete a Murloc quest too. Next up, purging the undead. Sure, all the mobs were way below my level and I could have skipped the quests, but I always tell myself that the free experience is free experience, and besides, I love this zone, so spending an extra hour or two here never bothers me. By the time my bags were stuffed to the brim, I decided it was time to head back. I sold everything, turned in all remaining quests, and that bumped me to level 12. That meant a third point in improved corruption. Almost instant cast at this point. Still needing some fresh blood spilled, I continued slaughtering Scarlet fanatics and helped one of the local undead deal with Captain Perrine. Then I traveled to Balnir Farmstead, filled with ghosts and undead creatures. Once again, no problem. I even defeated an elite enemy who, shockingly, dropped absolutely nothing. The Scarlet humans turned out to be the real issue, especially their clerics. They hit hard, and they could heal themselves or each other, dragging fights out way longer than I liked. Captain wasn't hard either, or wouldn't have been, if not for his healer. In the end, barely clinging to life, I won. This left one final quest I could do in the area: hunting spiders. And honestly, I've really grown to like playing this warlock. I've accepted his flaws and limitations, and I even started thinking more seriously about how to make him stronger, especially since many of his best abilities and power spikes come later on. The spiders were easy enough and several levels below me, and then another elite blocked my path. Considering how well the last one went, I assumed this would be easy. I was very wrong. I managed to pull aggro from my imp just before things got ugly, but a second spider joined the fight and finished him off. The elite was already low, but I knew I couldn't survive much longer, so I ran. But my genius brain decided I could finish it off, and surprisingly, I did. What I couldn't do was run away afterward. And just like that, my hardcore adventure came to an end. Luckily, hardcore was never my intention in the first place. Just a small mistake at character creation or choosing versions of World of Warcraft, so the journey continues. I have to see how this build performs at higher levels. For now, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode.